Hey guys, it's Amy from raisingarrows.net, and this is my middle school curriculum reveal for 2017. I have two kids who are what would be considered middle school age. They are 16 months apart in age, 11 and 12 years old currently. And I'm just going to go through what they are doing this school year. I do want to give a quick disclaimer. I may sound a little scratchy because I have caught a summer cold and my asthma is kind of acting up. My asthma is only a problem when I have some sort of respiratory cold or something like that. And so I'm kind of breathing a little more, I don't know, strained, I guess. And I do have my Diffusing Mama necklace on. I've got some essential oils in there. Just a quick plug for Diffusing Mama. This is some super high quality jewelry. I highly recommend them. I'll put a link down in the notes to them because if you have ever tried diffusing jewelry, you may not be super impressed by it. I have tried quite a few and I have not been impressed by the quality, but this is stainless steel and it is good stuff. And the pads that are in them for the oil they're reusable, so you can just use them and use them and use them and keep changing them out. They are beautiful designs. I mean, they have just a myriad of designs. I have several of them, and they have bracelets as well, and they're just fantastic. I really like Diffusing Mama, so that's just a quick plug for them, but that is why my voice may sound a little funny to you. Okay, so as I said in the elementary school curriculum video, we are starting on Monday mornings. We do the Picture Smart Bible. This is a digital copy. I simply printed off the cover of it, and then this is where we keep the finished products because my kids didn't want them thrown away. It's a lot of hard work, and they end up really cool looking. And we display them for a week, but they didn't want them thrown away at the end of the week. So I just grabbed a notebook and stuck this in there and put their pictures on the inside so that they could go back and look at them. But that's what we do on Monday. And then the rest of the time, we are just reading our current Bible storybook and our current read aloud. That's the first thing we do on the other mornings. From there, our kids all separate out, and my younger boys go to the dining room table, and I start working with them, and my older kids either go to the computer or to their room to work on their schoolwork. So the ones that go to the computer are doing teaching textbooks. That's usually what they start with. And so teaching textbooks, I'm sure you're familiar with them. They're very well known. It comes with this huge spiral bound lesson book, and if you did not have the CDs and you could not, you couldn't put them in a computer, you had a computer that doesn't have a drive for that, you could use this lesson book and be just fine. But I highly recommend using the CDs that come with it. It's just a full set of CDs. As you can see, this is where she's at currently. And they do the lessons through there. The grading is done through there. You have a parent account where you can look at it, but all of the grading is done for you. And so I totally don't stress about math. This is their math, and they're doing great with it. The other thing that they are doing on the computer is gradespelling.com. This is just a free online spelling program. We have tried some other spelling programs. My 12-year-old is not a natural speller. She really struggles to spell things correctly. My 11-year-old is much better, but I'm having him do it anyway because he's not a natural speller the way my 16-year-old is. My 16-year-old has never taken a spelling curriculum because she doesn't need it. But my 12-year-old needs it, and we have tried about 3 different programs, and I've never found one that she just absolutely likes other than this one. She seems to enjoy this one. She does seem to be spelling better. It has a lot of games, and I just have them work through each list, the whole thing with the games and the tests and everything, and it does all the grading there, and it's working for us really well. I will say that in the past we have used Institute for Excellence in Writing's Phonetic Zoo. It is very good as well, but my 12-year-old did not like it. She was very frustrated by it. My 19-year-old, when he was using it, loved it. It actually improved his spelling tremendously. And if you ever get a chance to listen in on a webinar or you go to a conference where Andrew Pudewa is speaking, listen to his spelling in the brain. That is a super good lesson for all of us as to how our minds figure out how to spell things and the structure of spelling and how it works with the information going in and the information going out. So if you get a chance to listen to that, I highly recommend that. My 11-year-old is also doing cursive this year. My 12-year-old has already done it. My purpose with this is that they learn to read and write cursive. I know that they will eventually come up with their own handwriting, and I'm okay with that, but I would like them to at least be able to read it and to be able to understand the mechanics of it. So we are using a Reason for Handwriting, and this is his cursive book. My middle schoolers are also still doing Apologia Elementary books. And the reason for this is that these things are extremely meaty. And there is plenty of information in there that will teach them some pretty huge concepts in science that I am more than willing for them to finish out the elementary school books before moving into the older books. I think that's actually what they're wanting to do. I do not start Apology of Science with my kids until they are adept at reading, until their reading is very fluid, and then I just hand them the book. It is written to the child. I feel like it is perfectly acceptable for this to be something that they do on their own. I do have an Apologia YouTube video where I go through the different curriculum and how we make it work for us. And you can find that in the homeschooling section. And I'll also link to it in the notes and at the end of this video as well. So that is what they're doing. They just read through it. Sometimes they do the projects if it's of interest to them. Sometimes I'll find a project and be like, you guys need to really do this project. I think this would be a good one for you. But that's what they're doing right now. They will eventually move into the general science and physical science. In the morning, they are also working on their literature assignments from Tapestry of Grace. This is, and it's heavy, this is Unit 2. This is where we're at currently. We're almost finished with Unit 2 of the 4th year rotation for Tapestry of Grace. And so their literature assignments are coming from this, and I will talk about this here in just a second a little bit more because we do that in the afternoon. But they will go and take their literature books and they will read in those. They keep those in their crate as well until they're finished with them. And that pretty much rounds out their morning. We eat lunch, we take a little bit of downtime, and then we start in on Tapestry of Grace. So I have some videos on how I plan. I have a whole page on my blog about Tapestry of Grace because you may have seen this curriculum at a conference or you have a friend who has it and it may be completely overwhelming to you. And I can guarantee you that that is not how I use it. I use it as a spine for our history. And I pick and choose from it what I want. And that's pretty much how I do everything. I feel like there are certain things that I can do and certain things I can't do. And this curriculum is a favorite of mine. It has everything I need to teach them a biblical worldview of history. Each week I open up the notebook and I go to the chapter that we're in and I look through the lesson plans and I pick and choose what I think we need to be working on that week. And I write it down on a piece of paper and we just work our way through that during the week. And then we have a unit celebration at the end of each unit. We have a blast with this curriculum. I have been using this for years and years and years, and I walked away from it for a time because I did get overwhelmed because I was trying to do too much. And during that little hiatus I took from Tapestry of Grace, I was sorely disappointed in everything else I did. And when I came back, I had a fresh pair of eyes with it and realized that it was okay for me to take bits and pieces of it and not do everything that was there. A Tapestry of Grace involves your history, geography, church history, philosophy, government, your literature, and your writing composition. And then there's some other components in there as well. They talk about some science. There's, oh, art, sorry, there's art and music in there as well. So you get a very well-rounded liberal arts education out of this. But I'm, like I said, I'm not doing everything. I'm pulling parts and pieces from it. And so it's like I said, it's the spine. It really is the spine of our afternoon. And then the literature that we're doing. All of the books that we read pretty much come from Tapestry of Grace assignments. Not every afternoon is filled with Tapestry of Grace here. We also do some special school, as we call it. Schoolwork that's something that we don't do every single day. It's just kind of an added in extra. Sometimes it's a tea party and some thematic element to it. So something I've pulled off of Pinterest, or it's a holiday related craft or something like that. Sometimes it is these art class DVDs. Let me turn it the right way there for you. Art class DVDs, there's 9 of them. These are fantastic. They span the ages. I use these with my little kids all the way up to my big kids. And it's pretty much a pop it in and go kind of thing. You have most of the supplies in your house, and if you don't have them, you're probably going to want them. I do have a coupon code for See the Light. It is Raising Arrows, all caps. And it'll get you 20% off and free shipping in the United States. The shipping in the United States, you can still get the 20% off even if you're not in the United States. But so if you are interested in that, I mean, this is something we've had for years, and we just do art a couple of times a month, and this is what we use. We just throw it in the laptop and put it up on the table, and they all work together through the projects. And I mean, they're just fantastic. They are really, really good. We've been using them for about 6 years now, so that's how good they are. And the other thing that we're doing is Kids Cook Real Food. It's a home ec class for real food, and it's also very good for multiple ages. So they may have a lesson for the younger kids that is a component of the snack that they're going to be putting together that the middle kids are doing, and then the older kids have some projects. And when you bring it all together, you have a well-rounded snack, and they're learning something new in every single section. So that is another thing. I meant to grab the books. I actually got my hands on some hard copy books of this particular program. I don't know how often those are available, but every now and then she does have, for the people who have signed up for the online class, there's the ability to get the hard copy books as well. And then my 12-year-old daughter is going to be taking cake decorating. I believe we're going to do that via craftsy.com. They have a cake decorating class on there that I think will be a good fit for her. That's a passion of hers. It's something she's interested in. I am more than willing to invest in those kinds of passions. My 11-year-old is also taking piano from his 16-year-old sister, the way that his 2 younger brothers are as well. Frankly, he doesn't like it, but I do require a year of piano from my kids. When I was a kid, I had to take 7 years, and I didn't particularly enjoy it. I enjoyed the benefits of when I sang as an older child, and even as an adult, being able to use the skills that I had learned in piano to further my singing, but it was not an instrument that I enjoyed. But I do feel like it is important that they take a year of piano, so he's just gonna have to suffer through it. One final word about the middle school years, especially when you homeschool, is that sometimes we feel like that's the middle school years, that's the junior high box, and here's the high school box. And anything they did in the junior high box does not fit in the high school box, and you can't count some class that they took in junior high as their credit in high school. I'm going to debunk that myth. That is not how this works. If your 8th grader takes algebra and they need an algebra credit, use that credit. They don't have to take a whole bunch of extra stuff in high school, because they happened to be in junior high. Especially in homeschool, you do not need to fit everything into those boxes and then not allow yourself to put those on a high school transcript. Don't worry about it. What they do in junior high can absolutely go on a high school transcript, especially if it is furthering toward that graduation requirements. Especially like for us, we're looking at the graduation requirements for our particular state. And if they take something in junior high that meets up with that graduation requirement, I'm going to put it on the high school transcript. It's perfectly fine. So my rule of thumb is if it looks like a high school course and it sounds like a high school course and it feels like a high school course, it is a high school course. It's okay. Algebra needs to be on that high school transcript. Don't be afraid of crossing those boundaries. There are even some people advocating for homeschoolers to just do away with the whole notion of junior high completely. And I think I kind of agree with that. There seems to be a lot of repetition in junior high and not a lot of meat. So I would encourage you to go ahead and work on the meat in junior high. So that's it for my middle school curriculum. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some new things. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line at amy@raisingarrows.net. You can also leave comments and I get back to those in a fairly timely manner. And I will be coming out with the final curriculum video here pretty soon on high school. If you have elementary kids and preschool kids, be sure to watch those videos, and we'll see you in a little bit.